I'm continuing to draw the palm tree design on the Aida cloth, and I will cross stitch it when I'm done. I decided to draw the design directly on the cloth because I didn't really want to graph it out. So this should be fun and interesting to do. Thanks for watching. Here's the completed outline for the cross-stitch palm tree, and I drew it with ink. It's based on a photograph of a palm tree I saw on a walk, and I will be cross-stitching it on this piece of Aida, cross-stitch material. It's mesh. So I'm beginning to do the major outlines with the darker green, which are kind of the lines that you see in the branches of the palm tree. So I'm going to continue adding to it as I go along. Here is the progress I'm making on the cross-stitch palm tree that I drew on the Aida cloth with the pin, and I'm still right now slowly because I have other things I have to do, but when I have time I'm cross-stitching on the branches of the tree. Thanks for watching. Okay, I'm almost finished cross-stitching in the branches of the Aida cloth, just a little bit more on this section. I used a little bit of what you would consider to be like a silk stitch by going over the entire branch area instead of the cross, a traditional cross stitch. And I also used a little bit of an outline stitch for the darker portions of the palm tree branches to kind of make them stick out a bit. And also, when I took the photograph of the palm tree, it has those distinctive dark lines and that beautiful bright green. I love palm trees. So this might be a tiny piece of Aida cloth, but I drew the picture on here with ink, and I'm cross-stitching. I haven't been able to work on any other art projects, but I'm a busy bee. I do a blog, and I'm working on a book, and then I like to cook. So I'm always doing something, and I'm trying to concentrate on this thing a bit more, but it's going to take some time. Thanks for watching. I have finished cross-stitching in the branches, and now I'm beginning to work on the brown outline of the darker portions of the palm tree trunk. And yeah, I'm using a dark brown color for that. On the branches there were dark green lines through the middle of them. That's why I used that dark green color and the lighter green surrounding it. Thanks for watching. I finally finished embroidering on, cross-stitching on the dark portions of the palm tree trunk. And next I'll be putting in the lighter portions. Thanks for watching. Here is the progress I've made on cross-stitching the palm tree. I have finished cross-stitching in all segments of dark portions of the palm trunk, and now I'm working on the palm fronds. First I did the palm branches, but I'm going in with a slightly different green color for the palm fronds, and that's what I'm working on. It's going to take a while. So you can't just sit there and cross stitch all the time. Thanks for watching. I finally finished in cross stitching in the leaves of the palm tree and the trunk of the palm tree, and now I need to add in the lighter portions to the trunk of the palm tree. That's my next step. Thanks for watching. I finally finished cross stitching the trunk of the palm tree. Very intricate, very detailed. It's taking a long time, but now I just have to do the sky in the background. Coming along, and I'm quite happy. Okay, this is what I'm doing. I have taken the blue embroidery floss, and I'm actually weaving around the 5x7 inch piece of Aida cloth that I cross-stitched my palm tree on, because I'm going to cross-stitch in the rest of the background as a blue sky, which is based on a photograph I took during a walk of the palm tree. And it's just kind of exciting because I'm like, this palm tree that I see on walks all the time is becoming a piece of art that I'm going to frame. And cross-stitching a palm tree that I drew on a piece of Aida cloth, this might seem like, oh, it's just a little thing. It's taking a long time. It takes a long time, and this is what I would do differently next time. I would put it in a hoop, an embroidery hoop, and have a border around it when I'm cross-stitching this, because it does fray on the edges. So I went around and reinforced the edges by sewing around with this blue type of thread that I'm also using for, cross-stitching in the sky, because I want to reinforce it. I don't want it to fray. So that's the only thing you need to keep in mind with the Aida cloth. It does fray because there's holes in it for cross stitching. So if you cut a piece of Aida cloth down to size like I did with this 5x7 piece, it will fray when you start cross stitching along the ends. So next time I'm going to cut out a piece that in diameter, around the diameter is a few inches larger than the piece I'm going to cross stitch. But also, what art projects do I have in the future coming up? I'm going to be doing more painting because I have a whole bunch of canvas panels. I've been selling some of my artwork lately on Zazzle. Pretty exciting. I sold some in the UK and Texas. And you know, if you ever want to see my artwork and you want to buy some, let me tell you the website. It's sweetberriesartworkshop.sweetberriesart.com. Thanks for watching. Okay, I decided to bring it outside. I've been working on it for a long time, almost 2 months now, and now the sky is about halfway done. This is not a counted cross stitch because I drew the picture of the palm tree on the Aida cloth. I've heard different pronunciations. I think it's Aida. So anyway, I am going through and cross stitching in all these little Aida holes. You can see there's many of them, and it takes a really long time to do it. I heard somebody said they did an Aida cloth craft that took them several months. So examiner sent me my little reprimanding email saying you have. Oh, okay, so look, I'm cross stitching. I've been working on it for a long time, and I keep talking about how long it takes to cross stitch. It takes a really long time, and then yesterday I went through my cross stitch things, and I found some old cross stitch things I did not find. But I remember something that I completed years ago. When I was in 8th grade, I made this really cute little cross stitch. It's like a Kleenex cozy. It's cute. And what else? I've done a lot of just easy cross stitch, like I designed a heart, which is a magnet on the fridge, and this American flag. It's kind of cool. So, if you're really bored, you can watch me cross stitch for a few minutes. So, how do you cross stitch? It's really simple. First you make your design, and then you just sit there and you poke your needle through the thread, and you bring it up, and you make sure not to nick your fingers, which by the way can happen if you're not careful, and it does happen. And sometimes, well, I finally decided to start using a needle that was more blunt on the end because I was using this needle that was exceedingly sharp, and I think that would be more for like embroidery work where you want not to make as big of a hole. But with the Aida cloth, it already has holes in it, and I'm almost near the end, so if it makes a slightly bigger puncture hole in the cloth, I'm not going to fuss about it too much. Plus, if it shows too much white, what you can do is you can double stitch. Some people are really precise with their Aida cloth. They only do really precise stitches, but mine was drawn by hand. It's not a counted cross stitch, and I'm doing some freehand stitching. Plus, I've seen a lot of things that are freehand stitch, like quilts. Like some of the most beautiful, exquisite quilts in the world, they have freehand stitching on them. And I think people like panic attack a little too much about. But like I said in the Examiner article the other day and other things, cross stitching does take a long time. It's what you call a budget craft, because you can buy a little thing of cotton embroidery floss for about 30 cents per color, which gives you 25 yards, or you can buy the multi-pack. What I recommend, honestly, is you might start out with a multi-pack, but buy some individual colors as well, because the multi-pack has certain colors that I do not care for. I love bright colors, and I don't want some of the muted brown colors in the multi-packs. unless they come with a lot of bright colors. So for me, I would rather buy some of the colors individually and then just replace them as I go. We'll just continue to cross stitch. And this is, it might seem silly that this is taking a long time, but it truly does. It's not something you can speed through. The other types of cross stitch, which was the plastic canvas mesh that I was showing you a couple of minutes ago, that you can do really fast because they have larger holes, and that's actually a craft that's perfect for kids. Like the Kleenex holder I showed you, I made that when I was in home economics class in 8th grade. They actually used to have classes like that, which people are like, well, if they had classes like that, it would be great. But it wasn't very helpful, actually, because I remember we did crafts the first part of the class, and then we cooked the second part, but it was stuff I kind of already knew, and the teacher didn't really teach us anything. And supposedly we were supposed to be learning all these different skills, but we were just in groups and we had to do it ourselves. So I don't know, like, people are like, well, you need home ec classes. Actually, I think you could just do cooking, artwork, cleaning on your own. I'm not saying you don't need a class in school for it, but I'm skeptical as well because I think you can learn those skills on your own. And you just keep going and going and going and going at it. And it's more fun as it goes along. You can watch shows and things because I don't usually watch TV, but I have Netflix again. And what did I find? Oh, I found this Canadian series called Bomb Girls. It's really interesting. I love the 1940s fashion, so that was kind of fun to watch. And I watched a lot of British comedies. I love like Canadian and British comedies because if I want to watch something or read something, I want to read about or watch something about another place. I don't know, it's just it's more interesting and fun. And yeah, so that's the good thing about cross-stitching, things like knitting, cross-stitching. Like, yeah, you have a design that you have to follow. You can't just do the whole thing. But it's like, it's not mindless, but it's not so time, like, consuming that you can't do something else while you're doing it. You could listen to the radio, you could listen to music, or you could just quietly do it. Sometimes I even sit here and I just quietly cross-stitch. And you start thinking about the project when you're near the end, which we keep getting closer to the end, and you're wanting to do more and more of it, and it's exciting. You're like, oh, I can't wait for it to be done. It's really super duper exciting. It gets to this point and you're like, I just can't wait. Okay, so I think you get the idea. You're just cross-stitching, and you can design your own cross-stitches. It doesn't have to be canvas cross-stitches. I've said many times this is based on a palm tree that I photographed and then drew on the Aida cloth. And yeah, just have fun with it. There are even free programs online. I can't vouch for how good they are, but you can design cross-stitch with some of these free programs on your computer. There's some crafting site that I saw a while back where it said, I think they monetize themselves with advertising, so it's a win-win for them. Like, they get search engine traffic, and they make a little bit of money off their website, and it allows people without having to buy the faux conversion cross-stitch kits. Like, if you didn't want to draw a design on yourself, but you totally could. Like, if you just wanted to do something basic, you could get the Aida cloth and you could draw an American flag design. You could draw a cute little snowman. Make a heart. You could do so many things. If you don't want to do the big Aida cloth, start with the plastic canvas mesh. You know, just have fun with it. Thanks for watching. Okay, I finished cross-stitching the palm tree, and I did a signature at the bottom in a light lavender color, and I'm just happy with how it turned out. Of course, I'm going to frame it, and yes, it just shows you can do a freestyle cross-stitch palm tree because I drew the palm tree directly on the Aida cloth, and then I cross-stitched it on using somewhat of a freestyle cross-stitching technique. I did outlining and regular cross stitching, but the creation's done. I'm excited! Thanks for watching. This is really special for me because this is that cross stitch palm tree, which is based on a photograph I took of a palm tree on a walk. And just the fact that I realized that I spent so much time cross stitching every little square in there, and now it's a work of art next to the other palm tree that I have on the wall. It's pretty exciting, and I'm happy it's now hanging on the wall in a frame. Thanks for watching. Okay, so here's my new Zazzle shirt. It's actually a reprint of a cross stitch palm tree that I created, where I drew the palm tree on Aida cloth and then I cross stitched it onto the cloth, which took a little while. It was kind of a time intensive project. So anyway, I cross stitched this and I reprinted it on this shirt, which is available on Zazzle.com, and I make a lot of shirts with my artwork and photography, and if you like this shirt, please check it out. So yeah, I really like it. I think it's cute. Thanks for watching.